When's the last time you washed your hair? And did you use a sulfate-free shampoo? Have you ever exfoliated your scalp? If you want to know the answers to these questions and more, make sure you like and subscribe below. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Weinstein. I'm a board-certified dermatologist, and little did you know, but dermatologists also specialize in hair. Now, I'm a curly-haired gal, and so my hair care routines might look different from yours, but in general, it's important to have a basic fundamental understanding of how to care for your hair and your scalp to allow optimal hair growth and shine, of course, to allow an environment of optimal hair growth. I just have to start by debunking a myth that sulfate-free shampoos are better for your hair. This is absolutely not true. There was a whole explosion of sulfate-free shampoos a few years ago where every company felt the need to make a sulfate-free shampoo. Now, if you're not allergic to sulfates, there's no need to use a sulfate-free shampoo. Now, I'm not underestimating or downplaying people who have allergies to sulfates. This can be quite severe and can cause a pretty damaging and life-altering rash on the face, on the scalp, even on the body. And so if you're allergic, I get it. But if you're not, the reason why you should use a shampoo with sulfates in it is because sulfates help to exfoliate, purify, clarify, all those wonderful things, lift the dirt and grime off the scalp and wash it away down the drain. Sulfate-free shampoos just don't do that. So if you're washing your hair, you might notice that all the product that you put on throughout the week or however often you wash is still on your scalp. Now, this can be especially troublesome for people who have curly hair because I know for curly haired gals, you probably put a lot of product in the hair to get it to stay hydrated so that it doesn't look frizzy and to better define your curl. Now, if you have an oily scalp and you have to wash every day, sulfate-free shampoos are not lifting the oil and grime off the scalp either. And so you might feel like you have to wash even more, maybe twice a day. Or maybe you washed every other day and now you have to wash once a day because you changed to a sulfate-free shampoo. So let's talk about what you should do instead. Clearly, I just spoke about washing frequency. How often you wash your hair is totally up to you. I've seen things all over social media about training your scalp to wash it less or to wash it more. That really doesn't matter, and it's going to vary for each individual based on your hair type and what's going on your scalp. So a lot of people might have a condition called seborrheic dermatitis, and that's where you have this dry, kind of flaky scalp, and it's commonly misunderstood and mistreated. If you have a dry, flaky scalp and you put oil on it, it's just going to make it worse. That flaking is caused by a yeast called malassezia. Now, we all have yeast on our scalp, but in some individuals, there are episodes where the yeast overgrows more than it should. So when you have a lot of yeast on the scalp, it actually causes inflammation. And that's what that dry and flaky look is. It's inflammation that's caused by the yeast. And so if you put oil on the scalp, it's just feeding this yeast production, and the dry and flaky appearing scalp is going to get worse. So what do you do instead? If you have a dry, flaky scalp, whether your hair is curly or straight, it's important to reach for a zinc-based shampoo. Now, everybody knows about Head & Shoulders, and the reason why Head & Shoulders became so popular is because it was one of the first shampoos to have the ingredient called zinc pyrithione. Zinc pyrithione will get into that follicle. It actually lodges itself into your hair follicle and kills all the yeast. Now, there are many other brands that create zinc shampoos, and so even if you hate the way it feels or it smells, if you have dry, flaking, and even itching on your scalp, it's important to use a zinc-based shampoo at least once or twice a week. Now, there are other shampoos out there that will do something similar. So if you want to take it one step further, you can look for one over the counter called Nizoral. Nizoral has an active anti-yeast ingredient in it called ketoconazole. Dermatologists can prescribe 2% ketoconazole and send that to the pharmacy to treat seborrheic dermatitis. But if you want to start over the counter, you can buy Nizoral, which is a 1% ketoconazole. When you use this shampoo, you really need to massage it into the scalp, leave it on for about 5 to 10 minutes in the shower, and then rinse it out. And I assure you that your dry, flaky scalp problem will improve when you integrate one of these shampooing techniques into your routine. Another shampoo that will also address the yeast component to the scalp is Selsun Blue. So now you have 3 options that can help treat a flaky scalp that is due to yeast overproduction. For my patients who only wash their hair once a week or once a month, and maybe you go to the hairdresser to get your hair washed, I recommend bringing this product to the hairdresser and having them use it while you're in the shampoo bowl first as your scalp treatment, and then they can use your normal products, so your shampoo and conditioner that you prefer. Okay, so if we're not using sulfate-free shampoos, what should we use instead? So what if you love your sulfate-free shampoo and you've been using it for years, but you do want something that'll help purify and clarify the scalp? What I recommend is using a scalp pre-treatment. Now, there are many scalp purifying and clarifying treatments out there, and which one you choose is up to you and what works best for your scalp and your hair type. My go-to for scalp exfoliation and purifying, cleansing the scalp is the Build-Up Blocker by Nutrafol. So basically, before you wash, you would apply this to your scalp. I like to section the hair off so that you can get it directly onto the scalp. Leave it on for about 3 to 5 minutes and then rinse it off in the shower, and you're gonna follow with your normal shampoo and conditioning routine. If you adopt something like this regularly into your routine as a pre-wash before you do your normal shampoo and conditioner, it'll really help clean the scalp of that buildup and grime and product that you've had on for the week or the month or the day, to ensure that your hair follicles have an optimal environment to grow. Because at the end of the day, I see a lot of patients who are losing hair, whether their hair is thinning, whether it's inherited, or whether they just came out of a huge traumatic event, or whether they're postpartum and losing hair after having a baby. And hands down, the number one thing we do is check the condition of the scalp. Make sure that there's no buildup, there's no redness, there's no irritation, there's no flaking around the scalp. And so incorporating something that will help clarify your scalp before you do your normal wash, especially if you love your sulfate-free shampoo, will help to provide an optimal environment for hair regrowth. Now, I can't do a hair care video without talking about one of my favorite products, which is the K18 Leave-In Molecular Repair Hair Mask. So I came across this about 6 months ago or so, and I've been using it after I do color treatment to my hair, or even after I get a blow dry or apply heat to the hair, and it has completely transformed my hair. So the way to use the K18 hair mask is in the shower, preferably the day or two after you have your hair color treated, or if you're doing a wash after having it straightened or had a lot of heat applied. You're going to want to put 1 or 2 pumps of this product after shampooing. Now, the way to use the K18 hair mask is after you chemically treat your hair or you apply heat to the hair, your first wash after that treatment, you're going to just shampoo in the shower and then apply 1 or 2 pumps of the K18 Molecular Repair Hair Mask. And it's a little bit tricky to comb out the hair, especially if it's super curly, but I try to get a comb through it very gently, let it sit for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll apply my leave-in conditioner and my gel. It's important to note that this should only be used for the first 3 to 4 washes after you color treat or process your hair. It's not meant to be an every wash or an every time treatment. It's just really that repairing mechanism that can help take place after the first 3 to 4 washes. If you overuse it, there's a potential of breaking down the hair and weakening it, and that is definitely not what we want. But I can tell you that after using this for the past 6 months, my hair, as I mentioned, has completely transformed. I feel like I have my curl back, my bounce back. It doesn't look like it's been overly processed or bleached, and so I highly encourage you to try this. This video is not sponsored. I just love this product.